Hello everyone, welcome back to another Friday, another casual champion review. It's John Bugman time. And this is a character that I have quite a good nostalgic connection to. I don't remember very many of the older character reveals because Kha'Zix was released back in like 2012, 2013-ish, I think. And I don't remember most of those actual reveals, but I remember him because I remember it happened while I was, when we just adopted my grandma's cat after she'd passed away, and she was all snuggly, so she wanted to be held and cuddled with all the time. And I remember just sitting there, just watching the Kha'Zix reveal with her. I don't know why that memory is so baked into my brain, but it's a good memory. You know what else is good memory, though? Fan art section. Look at them bugs, them roaches, them Johnnies. John Bugman. I don't remember where I came up with that. Thank you, fellas. It's all fantastic, amazing. A lot of raid, a lot of Shadow Legends. It's all fantastic. Kindred is next week, and I am excited and also very scared because Kindred has adapted a certain reputation in the community. So, behave yourselves. Classic AD carry players. For the health bar. Oh my god, I forgot. I forgot that I turned health bars off because I was recording footage for the Infernal Skin review. Alright, so Kha'Zix, Mr. John Bugman, is pretty much a non-player in the world of Runeterra as much as cho'gath or kog'maw is, but at the absolute bare minimum, Kha'Zix at least has a connection to another champion in the universe, that being Rengar. They're designed to be rivals, and was one of the first actual big rival characters. I mean, you had Nasus Renekton kind of sort of established back in the day, and Leona Diana a little bit, but Kha'Zix and Rengar, when they were released, were designed to be rivals. And that makes sense, because, you know, Rengar is supposed to be the Predator, and Kha'Zix is supposed to be Alien, so you have Alien versus Predator. Blah, blah, blah. But because Kha'Zix was designed so long ago, they didn't have the Void figured out yet. Like, at that moment in time, the Void was still just a random monster dimension with monsters spilling out into the physical world occasionally, mostly just trying to eat things. And Kha'Zix was no different in that regard, except he had a special ability in that he adapted to the physical world. He took on the traits of those that he consumed, which, granted, that's like a normal thing for the Void these days. bel'veth's entire conception is based on the fact that she devoured an entire city worth of people. But Kha'Zix was the original for that concept in League because his whole goal, whereas every Void monster has a pseudo goal, like cho'gath to eat the world, bel'veth to be a Void leader until she became, I want to take over the world as well. Kha'Zix was, I am going to become the ultimate apex predator. I am going to eat all of the most dangerous animals in Runeterra and make them my food, make me stronger by consuming their vital essence. That guy's name was AD Carry. Oh my god. Oh. I can do this. So Kha'Zix was driven by this goal that the Watchers, or the whatever was in charge of the Void at that moment in League history, programmed into his brain, and he wanted to become the ultimate apex predator, constantly hunting down greater and greater prey, greater and greater predator animals to try and obtain their attributes become even stronger. And he was doing all this in what used to be the Kumungu jungle. I don't know if the Kumungu jungle is even canon anymore, but I guess near the jungles of Ishtal. So eventually, as he was hunting, he stumbled upon the Kilash tribe, which are Rengar's people. The Kilash were unable to kill him while he was there, and because of that, he became a sort of highly commemorative prize. Like, okay, if you can hunt down this Void abomination, then you get, like, Disney Fast Pass or something, I don't know. Something story goes along, and Rengar, who's the son of the Kilash chieftain, is disowned and exiled and told, you will regain your honor once you go and kill that Void abomination. Rengar says, okay, father, here I go, and goes out into the jungle to try and find Kha'Zix. And they eventually stumble upon each other, and I believe in the story this is where Kha'Zix gets his wings because he's eating a bunch of raptors. I don't know how eating birds allows him to grow bug wings, but I guess trying to keep the bug aesthetic intact. And they have a good old fist fight, rootin' tootin' brawl, and that's how Rengar loses his eye. And Kha'Zix, he gets away pretty scot-free. Like, he's still doing okay, although he got injured for the first time in his entire existence. Actual blood coming from his body, and he realizes, oh, this is worthy prey. I may be the ultimate jungle predator at the moment. However, if I can kill this creature, I will become the ultimate apex predator. So I must kill him and hunt him down. And that's it. That is where Kha'Zix's story ends, and it will probably never go further from there, because of course Riot isn't going to want to kill off him or Rengar. I think the only thing they actually got of significance was they had that little Wild Rift mini lore event, the expansion where Rengar and Kha'Zix got added at the same time, which I hope if they add them to Project Alert 2x KO, if they add them, they do like the same thing, a combo pack of Rengar and Kha'Zix. I think that'd be pretty awesome. The weird thing about them though is while I have suggestions for other champions that I think could be pushed forward narratively, what do you do with Kha'Zix? Like, it's pretty cut and dry. I guess that's poetic for the same thing as his kit. He's very, what you see is what you get. He's a big bug trying to kill things, and he just likes killing things because it makes him stronger, TM. That dragon is mine! Oh my god, I'm the most epic bug in the world! The ironic thing, though, about Kha'Zix is that while his whole identity and kit, rather, is about evolving and become this greater and greater threat, in an ironic sense, the Void has evolved without him. The Void has gone from this kind of stereotypical purple bug aliens, you know, the Zerg, the Tyranids. It's very similar to a lot of other monsters in pop culture. And they start to move towards more sea life, ancient sea creatures and deep sea monsters, like, you know, bel'veth, perfect example. I'm not saying that all the Void monsters need to be like that, but it certainly is a much more unique aesthetic, though Kha'Zix, as much as I don't think he's anything fantastic, has one thing of true merit to me. And it's mainly, like, I don't think it would work without Vel'Koz's existence, because you have the comparison of the two. Because you have Vel'Koz, who is barely adapted to function in the physical world. He's, if you look at the artwork of what he looked like when he first exited the Void, it's almost identical. He's just kind of filled in the gaps in his flesh. But Kha'Zix is so far beyond what Void monsters are because he's eaten so many creatures and adapted to so many different environments and taken on the attributes of so many animals that he almost doesn't even look like a Void monster anymore. And having those two side by side, the barely adaptable one with the super adaptable one, I think it shows the flexibility of the Void. So like, well, this is what the Void can become. It can evolve to such a degree that they start to blend in with our own world. And in that instance, I think he's really cool. I still don't think he's particularly super interesting. He is just a giant bug man. The one thing that's always bothered me about Kha'Zix is, why can he talk? I'm not saying that Kha'Zix doesn't need to at least be some level of intelligent, but like, why would this creature need speech or be capable of speech? If the whole thing is about consuming animals and monsters, where is he getting speech from? And it's not like the Predator or Alien really talk to each other at all. Predators just kind of spoke their own weird language, while the Xenomorphs just kind of growled and hissed at everyone. Stop pinging me, AD carry player. I'm worth it. Really, the biggest merit of Kha'Zix's design is the fact that he evolves, and it is cool that he actually does adapt as the game goes on, growing the longer claws or the spines or growing the big wings. Like, that's cool and neat. However, I think Kha'Zix has absolutely insane potential that can never be realized, because his whole gimmick is about adapting to his environment and taking on the attributes of those that he kills, right? So in my ideal world, that's Kha'Zix's entire gimmick in-game as well, that if he kills the same champion in-game enough times, like, let's say 3 times, if he kills a Yordle 3 times, he becomes a little smaller. If he kills Gnar 3 times, he gains the special minion jump interaction that Gnar has. Like if he kills Volibear, he gains a little bit of a lightning strike on his Q, or if he kills Akali when he You motherfucker. Like if he kills Galio, he gains a magic shield, or if he kills Sion, he becomes a lot tankier and bigger. Like, the potential there to have him adapt physically and gaining the powers of those he kills, that sounds super cool, and I think would make Kha'Zix significantly more interesting, though I know that is a completely unreasonable ask. I mean, Riot can barely make Sylas and Viego work, and that's just stealing one ability or stealing the kit of a champion. This was asking, like, to have unique effects per champion that he takes, sometimes different physical attributes depending on who he kills, meaning they would have to change the model for like 160 champions and therefore change the model for every skin he has to. Like, it is a enormous ask, and one that I know is completely unreasonable. However, I think it would be awesome. As it stands, his evolved mechanic is still enjoyable. I don't think it's quite as interesting as Kane's mechanic, like of him actually turning into the Darken or the Assassin. But at least having the choice of evolution. Oh my goodness! What the fuck? And just when I thought I was out, there was a stinky pirate at my doorstep. He's certainly better than Kale, though, because at least Kha'Zix doesn't feel completely useless until he gets his evolutions. Like, if you go you know, Q first, W first, those abilities still feel useful, and he still feels like a useful character. It's proper evolution and late game scaling where it feels like they're accessories, not necessities. Like, Kha'Zix doesn't need empowered Q to be sustainable or empowered W. Like, it depends on the situation. And you can choose which one you evolve first. Like, that's really cool. And for a champion as old as he is now, I guess, it's weird to I'm still in, like, the mindset that Ornn is a new champion. Then I realized that Season 7 was half of League's total lifespan. And I think the thing I'll always appreciate about Kha'Zix, compared to other assassins, and again, this is probably because he's a bit of an older character by this point, you know what? No. The one thing I'll always appreciate about Kha'Zix compared to other assassins is that there's no fancy schmancy BS. Like, he's very straightforward and easy to understand and easy to counter. Like, if you stick together, you have significantly reduced Kha'Zix's strength. I guess I go W, right? For the slow? I don't know, I used to go E all the time back when I played Kha'Zix a lot, but I think the slow's probably better, right? Kha'Zix is kind of a scrub killer, though. Like, you've always seen those challenger accounts trying to climb to the iron ranks, and they pick Kha'Zix because he's really good at just... Whoa. I have made a mistake. Like, if I had the choice of fighting any other assassin, like if I had to fight Akali or Zed or... like, these champions with way too many buttons, and there's too many things they can do... Kha'Zix is just a lot more straightforward and easy to grasp and counter, I think. So he's never really bothered me as much, even when he is meta. It's also because the only mobility I have is, there you go, 15 seconds. One dash. I guess the ult kind of counts for mobility because it's like a little bit of invisibility, though Vayne gets to do that 50,000 times when she ults. But it feels like a lot more limited mobility unless you invest your evolution into E, which means that you lose damage on Q, or utility on ult, or the slow on W. Like, you lose stuff to invest in more mobility. That feels a lot more fair to me. The one thing, though, that I'll never find fair, and it's a victim of time, because it never used to be like this. The Rengar-Kha'Zix matchup is supposed to be just that. It's a matchup. It's a versus event. But ever since they did the mini rework to Rengar, where he can just cleanse everything, it's completely Rengar favored now. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure back in the day when Kha'Zix didn't have the true stealth, as it were, Rengar could still detect Kha'Zix by ulting. You could see him while he was invisible. That feels thematic because Rengar's hunting him down, right? What doesn't feel thematic is Kha'Zix getting the jump on Rengar, bending his entire combo on Rengar in a whole second, getting rid of 70% of his health, and Rengar presses the W button, gets it all back, and then he gets to wall up Kha'Zix in return, 100-0, no problem. Like, that, I really think if you're gonna have actual versus matchups, they should feel like there's actual competition between the two, like there isn't an obvious advantage between one of them. I mean, Senna Thresh is kind of in a similar boat, and Nasus Renekton, usually Renekton can win that. Like I said, I know they did this with bel'veth, right? But if I killed the Baron, wouldn't it be cool if I got a permanent buff from that? Like, I got, like, I don't know, a second pair of arms. So, like, Kha'Zix has 4 arms now because Baron has multiple arms, or Kha'Zix grows another head or something. Like, something to indicate that he's actually gaining the powers from the things that he consumes. I think that would be cool, but again, I know it's a huge ask and they're never going to do it. On the topic of Kha'Zix's skins, he doesn't have that many, despite the fact that he is pretty popular. He's one of those few monster champions. I think it's like him, Thresh, Malphite, Alistar are like the few monster champions that have broken the mold and are super popular all year round. Again, I think because, you know, Kha'Zix is pretty straightforward. You stinky pirate! You shot me in the face! And now I shoot you in the face. He has, like, some fairly decent skins. He's got Dark Star. I am kind of fond of Odyssey in a weird way, though I think they kind of messed up his blades a little bit. The idea of him being an actual alien this time, just wielding advanced tech. I quite like it, though he has had some blunders as well, like the Lunar Guardian, where they try to turn him into a oh, hello. Oh, goodbye! Yeah, I'm not really a fan of him turning into... What the leave me alone! And I feel like despite his popularity, his lack of skins is the same thing as Kayn, where they just don't want to put in the extra effort. Like why bother putting in the extra effort? We have to model the claws and the extra wings, and they basically every single one of Kha'Zix's chromas is 2 chromas in one because of his ult evolution. They don't want to do that. They'd rather put more money into a Yasuo skin or an Ahri skin. You know, maybe they'll make a $500 Kha'Zix skin next year. Who knows? I don't really know how much longer this game's going to go on for. It's been kind of even. I don't really know how much longer this game's going to go on for. Samira went from 1-5 to 10-5. So Yeah, we might have been 80 carry differential this game, but I guess in case it closes now, I'm already out of things to say about Kha'Zix because there isn't really much to him anyway. Again, they kind of just left it at he's a bug that eats things and he likes to eat things, and that's what he does. He eats things. Enjoy. I think he is a fairly serviceable character. I don't think there's anything particularly bad about him. It's just that the potential is there. Oh, wow, there we go. Okay. Okay. Wow, that was great timing. Okay. So, yeah, thank you for coming by this week's Casual Champion Review, everyone. I'll see you next week for Kindred, and then we'll do Aurora the week after when she's on PB, all right? I'll see you next time. Okay, goodbye.